Hardcore is here, and these are 11 tips and tricks to not die. Number 1, hyperspawns. This might be the single reason most people die early game in Hardcore. Most enemy camps in Classic are linked and require a certain amount of enemies to be alive at the same time. This means if you clear one part of the camp, another part of it will respawn. The size of these enemy camps may vary wildly, but the most prevalent and dangerous occurrence of hyperspawns is caves. Caves are the areas with by far the highest death rates in the entire game, and hyperspawns are one of the big reasons. Let's say you push into a cave and all of a sudden enemies respawn straight in your face. This is because somebody else in the cave just killed a few mobs and the ones on you hyper respawned. This makes caves even more dangerous when it's active with players, so always try to keep to the entrance of caves when you notice a lot of people running about. It's also worth noting that there are other areas with similar dangers. Just be wary of enclosed spaces with limited exits and a lot of people. Number 2, rotate zones. One of your biggest advantages in Hardcore is staying ahead in levels. There are many ways to do this, do a lot of dungeons, stay logged out for rested experience, but perhaps the most powerful way is to rotate zones while questing. There is absolutely no need to go to Red Ridge at level 18 just because you can. Instead, go back to Loc Modan, go back to Darkshore and finish up questing there. Doing Orange Quest is one of the worst things you can do. While enemies reward you with slightly more experience for doing high level content, quests do not, and both of them heavily punish you for being higher level, which means as soon as a quest goes green, you've lost XP. Whenever you feel like enemies are starting to look too scary, just swap zones and always stay ahead. Number 3, split pulling. This is a bit more niche but very useful to know. If you're trying to separate an enemy from a pack, you can't simply pull it and run away. When an enemy drags mobs with them in a so-called social aggro, they are now permanently linked. And if one resets, all reset, and if one stays, all stay. Instead, if you pull every enemy in the camp at the same time, with let's say a blizzard or another AoE spell, you can now easily reset the rest while keeping the mob you wanted. But unfortunately, some classes do not have easy access to AoE spells, and running face first into a camp to aggro all at once can be very dangerous. Luckily, there are ways around this, mostly through explosives that you get from engineering or quests. A very easy explosive to get that will last you ages is the explosive rocket from Shipment to Stormwind, which is a follow-up quest from Cobalt Candles, one that most human gnomes and dwarves will do. Number 4, dungeons. Dungeons are on a daily cooldown in Hardcore and are extremely useful not only to stay ahead in levels, but also to get your character geared. While you might think dungeons sound a bit scary, they're actually way less scary than you think. While in a group, you have access to so many resources, so it's probably safer to be in a dungeon than out by yourself in the world. Run as many as you can and gear yourself up to make the rest of the journey a lot safer. Number 5, terrain. Understanding terrain in Classic can help you in so many ways and be the difference between life and death. Essentially, enemies can walk anywhere that is on the ground. It doesn't matter if it's flat land or a huge cliff, they can scale it with ease. But as soon as an object is in the way, mobs can no longer path there and have to walk around. That means that things such as fences and trees are an amazing way to keep enemies away from you, whether you're kiting or just trying to escape. But that's not all. If you understand how terrain works, you'll very easily be able to spot evade locations. Basically, any point where an enemy cannot path through, they will evade. This usually comes in the form of a rock you can scale or something to put you above the ground, which is of course usable everywhere, especially in dungeons where enemies do not normally reset. Number 6 is engineering, and let me preface this by saying this is not a section for professions in general, this is just for engineering because it is by far the best profession in the game, especially on Hardcore. With the auction house and trading available, potions, gear, and anything else you could want from a profession is readily available. But engineering items such as bombs, grenades, and target dummies are usable by engineers only. This profession is worth it thanks to the target dummy alone. I cannot count how many times the dummy has saved me. You can use it instantly and divert the attention from every enemy attacking you at once to either make your escape or simply use it as a tank for a few seconds. Even the first rank of the target dummy will last you all the way to 60. The explosives are also very useful, they stun, they deal a lot of damage, and will also help you with split pulling if you were unable to do that previously. I cannot stress this enough, get engineering. Number 7 is Rested XP. This is the most powerful add-on in the entire game. Even before getting sponsored by them, I've been using it religiously. If you're familiar with my Arcane Mage series, you've probably taken notice of it. Rested XP provides an insanely detailed step-by-step guide on every part of the leveling process, with instructions where to go, what to do, and how to do it. And with the new Hardcore Survival Guide, you can completely tailor the experience to how you wanna play it. Just downloading the free version will give you access to all the level 1 to 22 guides, as well as features such as breath timers, dangerous enemy warnings, and more. They even pinpoint every vendor and the items they potentially provide to help you upgrade your gear on the journey. If you're interested in more after trying the free version, I'd recommend the faction-specific hardcore guides, which will give you access to all the features and guides from 1 to 60 for one faction. Use my link in the description to download and the code JAMPANOS for 5% off at checkout. Thank you. Number 8. Understand your resources. Most of the time when playing hardcore, you are not in danger of dying, which might make you complacent. Ask yourself not how you will survive when everything goes right, but how to survive when something goes wrong. For example, when I engage something with my Arcane Mage, my first line of defense is my health and mana. I always make sure those are topped before I try anything. Then, if stuff starts going south, I can always use my potions or evocation to get some more resources back. But if even that fails, I have the emergency items such as grenades and target dummies. The only time I am in actual danger is if I try to do stuff when my additional lifelines are on cooldown. This might seem obvious, but trust me, things can go right 100 times, even 1,000, but a single mistake will lead to all your progress being wiped. So, having a plan and resources available when it goes wrong will save your life. Number 9, economy. This is a big one. Because the auction house and trading is enabled, having gold will directly increase the power of your character by getting access to better gear and a constant flow of consumables. But unlike traditional WoW, the demand for items will be a bit different. The average hardcore character death happens at around level 13, which means the demand for items from players starting from scratch will be crazy. This will make profession alts that stick to starting zones viable, as people looking to restock a new character after a death will buy low-level crafted gear at crazy rates. You can also combine economy with a previous point. Anytime you reach an area where the mobs drop high-value items such as Badlands, just stay there a while and farm the enemies to not only get ahead of levels, but also save up large amounts of money. Number 10 is simple, bank alt. When you die, everything on that character is gone forever, so storing useful items and gold on a separate character just chilling in Stormwind is a great and easy way to get a new character running should you die on the main. Number 11. Guards. The final and again a bit of a niche tip, using guards is a way to speed up leveling and help you with potential dangerous quests. Just simply drag an enemy to a guard to let them help you kill it. The only caveat is that you need to be the individual with the most damage done to the enemy. So if it's one guard helping you, dealing 51% of the enemy's health will give you full loot and progress. If it's something like 5 guards, as long as you have more damage dealt than either one of them individually, you will get the rewards. And that's it, good luck not dying. See ya!